Cody. Slee. Smith. Wallen. Warfa. Diversity Liaison Alex. Communications Chair Rayumbo. Finance Chair Malahoy. Government Affairs Chair Hunt. Chief of Staff Peterson. Here. Vice President Sierra. President Spear. AFA. AISA. BSA. GSA. Hero excused. Honors College. IRC. LASA. RHA. Unified Council. Unified Council. UPC. Advisor Bylander. Advisor Schmidt. Advisor Willis. And excused.
Moving on to adoption of the agenda, are there any additions or corrections to tonight's agenda? Is there a motion to approve? Member Deer.
So moved.
All those in favor of approving the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda is approved. Same with the minutes. Any additions or corrections to last week's minutes? All right. Is there a motion to approve? Senator Christopoulos. Second. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes are approved. All right. We'll move on to open forum with Diane Nagy, the Vice President of the Brookings Human Rights Commission. Am I supposed to come up to the mic? Okay.
Well, good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you today about the Brookings Human Rights Commission. My name is Diane Nagy, and I am actually the immediate past chair of the Brookings Human Rights Commission. I've been involved with that organization for some time. And I'm not sure how to advance my slides. Oh. Thank you. That's pretty kind. There we go. Right. So I did want to point out that we do have public meetings that everyone is welcome to attend. The Human Rights Commission is a volunteer board that's appointed by the city. We have 10 seats, one of which is reserved for students. We also have liaisons with relevant agencies in the community, such as the school district, the police department, SDSU, and we have a liaison with the Student Association. There you are. We really appreciate this open channel of communication that this creates, and we hope that we'll identify new opportunities for us to collaborate. Perhaps some ideas will come out of this conversation. The mission of the HRC is to improve human relations throughout the Brookings area, create a welcoming environment by combating discrimination through both educational activities and a complaint resolution process. Our goals are to increase equity, access, and inclusion, build mutual respect and understanding across differences, and celebrate our diversity. Working groups are a portal to engage community members in advancing our goals. We have 4 working groups. One is focused on advocacy, so that group tracks legislative sessions and provides input to our senators and representatives at the state level to encourage them to support human rights in their voting process. And they also manage our complaint resolution process, which is an opportunity for Brookings area residents to contact the city if they feel that they're being discriminated in one of the protected class areas. Our working group for education puts on trainings in the community. Most recently, we've done some human trafficking awareness work and bystander to upstander training. If there are other trainings that you guys would like to see in the area, please reach out to us and let us know. Our outreach working group focuses on events that celebrate our diversity, such as Juneteenth, Pride Fest, Hispanic Heritage, Indigenous Peoples, and MLK, essay poster competition, and other such activities. Our communication working group manages our social media, and we also communicate through our yard sign campaigns. You may have seen the welcome neighbor signs in 4 different languages and the diversity makes Brookings great signs. And we have a new campaign on Know Your Rights that you'll be seeing soon. We also have several ongoing initiatives that we're working on. One is a citywide DEI action plan. This emerged with the Brookings 5-year Socio and Economic Master Development Plan, and the city tasked the Human Rights Commission to develop a citywide DEI action plan. It's still emerging. The MEI score is the Municipal Equality Index. This is a nationwide assessment of over 500 cities that looks at the laws, policies, and services offered in terms of how inclusive they are to LGBTQ plus communities. I'm happy to say that the HRC has helped ensure that Brookings has received a perfect score of 100 on the MEI scale for the past, every year since 2018. Anti-bullying is something that we've been working on for some time. We've received complaints from about bullying in the schools, and we know that just telling kids not to be bullies is not an effective way to combat that, but rather we want to cultivate more constructive behavior. The best way to root out bullying is to supplant it with qualities that build on young people's natural altruism, their commitment to justice, and their desire to improve their communities. So we looked at different models and landed on the institute process that was developed by the Global Baha'i Community, and it is a junior youth empowerment program. And junior youth refers to the age group of 11 through 14-year-olds. You may recall that this was a period of really turbulent change. You go through a lot of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual changes. And at this time, you're really shaping ideas of yourself and society that can impact the rest of your life. And so this program helps to direct their energies and navigate this turbulent time. It cultivates their power of expression, develops discernment, perception, and this commitment to and confidence in contributing to social development and action. There are 4 different components to the program: study, arts, recreation, service. So the program doesn't just impact the junior youth that are going through it, but actually it works at multiple levels. So you begin with a cohort of young adults, such as yourself, who would go through the materials and learn how to then tutor a group of high school students through the materials, who would then animate a cohort of junior youth in the middle schools, who would then model this behavior to elementary school students. So it's throughout that process, everybody is learning how to become an agent of change, a champion of justice, and practitioner of peace. So it's really, it's impactful at the generational level. And this is built on the premise that we all share a twofold purpose. So as we go through these materials, we develop these insights and skills that will help us then contribute to society in engaging in increasingly complex acts of service. So we develop our own intellect and character, and at the same time contribute to the transformation of society. There's going to be a conference for youth who are interested in engaging in this process on Saturday, March 21st at Augustana. There's a QR code there to register if you're interested. And if you're not able to attend the conference, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to take a cohort through the material locally. So there's my contact information, phone number, email. You can swing by my office in Morrill Hall. And on behalf of the HRC executive team, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to share this little overview of our work with you and invite any questions you might have. All All right, well, you have my contact information. If something occurs to you later or you'd like to just engage one-on-one, I'd welcome that opportunity. Thank you.
All right, moving on to open forum item B, public comments. Are there any members of the public that would like to address the Senate tonight? All right, we'll move on to committee and staff reports, beginning with my own. This weekend, I attended Budget Marathon with the Finance Committee and Finance Chair Delahoyd. It was a very productive, well, how long were we there? 10 hours. We did get to sleep in between, and I would like to thank Dr. Willis for giving us very, very good caramel rolls. They lived up to the standards. In addition, on Thursday evening, I met with the UPC president regarding a speaker fund request. As you guys may remember from last semester when we did our internal finance reform, we're trying to build a better foundation between UPC and SA, specifically via the speaker fund, as that is one of our joined policy initiatives. Vice President Sierra and I met with President Dunn and Vice President Willis on Friday, just a general meeting, giving some updates. And then subsequent to that, we went to the Soul Food Luncheon, hosted by the Student Connection Engagement as well as BSA, and it was very yummy. That is the end of my report. Vice President Sierra.
Yep, so petitions have closed for the general election for senator seats. Looking at this, we will probably be doing some at-large openings this spring as well. We have 9 approved right now, and then there's 1 pending. So we'll have 10, pending that one, we'll have 10 senator spots in the general election. None of them are contested, so we shouldn't have to have any Senate debates. And then we'll do our mandatory campaign guidelines meeting on Thursday this week, March 5th at 7 p.m. If I haven't sent you an Outlook invite yet, I will, probably tonight. It'll be in the Pioneer Room, which is right here. So, end report.
Chief of Staff Peterson.
I am currently working on ordering the graduation stoles, and I'll be sending out an email this week. So if you are one of the people who is interested in that, be looking out for the email. Also, the Senator Spotlight for the most recent senators did go up last week, so make sure you check that out. And I also posted another fun video about when the exec team showed up for the exec meeting, so I definitely recommend you watch that one. Otherwise, that is it. End of report.
Finance Chair Delahoyd.
Yeah, Budget Marathon this weekend happened. It went very well. Lots of good discussion and everything. I'm following up with a few clubs post Budget Marathon with just some questions that the Finance Committee had for them to get those answered prior to Reconciliation Day, which will be this Wednesday. And so it'll be finalized our budget on the Monday the 9th will be the day in which it first comes to the Senate for its first hearing. Any clubs and student orgs that would like to contest this are able to come and speak during public comments during that time to voice their opinion for or against the allocation, which they've been allocated by the Senate, and clubs will hear back from me Thursday, Friday of this week with what that allocation was. End of report.
Government Affairs Chair Hunt.
Yeah, last week I met with the mayor. That was a good discussion. And then we also had city council on Tuesday night. We heard the State of the City address. Brookings, South Dakota was ranked number 2 most affordable college town in the U.S., which we're really proud of. And also number 9 most welcoming college town in the Midwest. We did have one pretty big thing that was voted on. It was a sales tax incentive for a company called Sequitur Edge. They are a data center company that they had hopes of bringing a data center here to Brookings. We had some really good discussion about it. The city council had some concerns based on the power usage that they had, because when it first started out, it would have been at 2 megawatts, which powers about 1,400 homes, and then at full capacity, it would have powered about 7,000 homes at about 10 megawatts. It would have gone in at the SDSU Research Park in a vacant building over there. They also had some sound concerns about how loud it would be because it's about 500 yards from a residential neighborhood. and they discussed some companies here in Brookings that have outsourced the storage of their data to cities like St. Paul and Chicago and Denver, but they didn't have a study on it, so ultimately it was voted down. That doesn't mean that this data center won't be coming to Brookings, it just doesn't mean that they'll have a sales tax incentive with the city. End of report.
Communications Chair Ringenberg.
The Robert report was sent out this morning. I attended Faculty Senate last week and updated them on what the Senate has been up to since the beginning of this semester. I've also been working on website updates and getting election materials ready.
Diversity Liaison Alex.
We had the SOFA luncheon last week and it went pretty good. Today I attended the Student Success Steering Model, and the work group that I'm in focuses primarily on first generation, international, Pell eligible and underrepresented students here at SDSU. And what we focus on specifically is graduation and retention rates and what student populations are at a higher percentage compared to others. And we focus on what resources they aren't getting or what resources there are and what they aren't just getting. And yeah, and report.
Moving on to ex officios, beginning with AFA.
We are having a chili cook-off at the BSEC March 11th, and it's our advisors. And I hear they have pretty good chili, so you might want to come and try it out. And then they've also, as a club, we decided to put study tables in the BSEC Center just to kind of hopefully bring in new members and see if they want to bring in kind of like the feel of the whole military affiliation kind of style and report.
AISA.
ASA had the museum come to the American Indian Student Center to create collaboration. Our president, vice president, and our chief teacher will be Introduction 101 and there's 26 days until our GP and Hazel. And report.
BSA.
Last week at our members meeting, we had Richard Hunt present the new art piece, and that was pretty interesting to see how to analyze abstract art. And then we also had the Soul Food Luncheon, which turned out great, and we sent a report.
GSA.
Last week we had our karaoke night and it started out slow, but it picked up as the time went on and we had to cut a couple people off, unfortunately, so then the board could perform our Bohemian Rhapsody closer. And this week we will be having a regular meeting, we'll be doing a game night and have some snacks and report.
Hero. Honors.
The Dean Student Advisory Council met with Dr. Heiberger last Thursday, kind of discussed his ideas for the future, asked for student input, and there was a lot of conversation surrounding encouraging students through kind of the admissions process to join the Honors College, so we're hoping to work more with the admissions office in that aspect. End of report.
IRC.
We'll be having paint and sip event this Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. at the Obodoy Gallery, and 22nd March, Nepal night coming up. Get your tickets. You're going to be here. End of report.
LASA.
Last week we had a homework just study night, and then we attended BSA's art event. And then we also have a Women's History Month trivia night this Thursday.
RHA.
A group of us went to attend the regional business conference down in Springfield, Missouri last week. That was fun, it was good. It was nice meeting all the different RHAs from around the region. Our meeting today had 8 different halls represented, which was the highest we've had in multiple years. Very impressive for us, provided really strong discussion, and report.
Congratulations. Unified Council.
Alpha Gamma Rho won the South Dakota Board of Regents Academic Achievement Awards, so congrats to them. Along with that, we host speakers pretty much every semester. And the one we decided upon for the Next one is gonna be a gambling speaker, because we thought that was kind of fitting for men aged 18 to 25. Also this Thursday, we are hosting the Wolstorf-Waldner Fraternal Excellence Awards at the OLPAC at 8 p.m., which just helps show off chapter performance, leadership, and Greek life collaboration. And report.
Unified Council.
We are currently preparing to have to move our recruitment weekend due to the potential for a football game. As the September schedule has yet to be fully released, we do have our weekend set for when there might be a home game, and we don't want the overlap. And Chi Omega is currently hosting their Wish Week, so keep an eye out in the Union for their tables. We are doing a bake sale, I think it's Wednesday and Thursday, and then tomorrow night there will be a trivia night in the Union. End report.
UPC.
So, last Monday we had book bedazzling, and that went really well, and the students who came really enjoyed that. And now this Thursday, March 5th, from 6 to 8, we're having our Murder in the Mansion, which is like a Clue-inspired mystery event where participants can work in teams and solve a crime. And we basically want to solve who committed the murder. And there'll be food provided and an activity and prizes for the winning teams. And there are 20 more spots open for students to sign up. And starting this week and the next week, our exec board will be conducting interviews for our coordinators next year. And a report.
Advisor Bylander.
I will not be at meeting next week, which means I won't be able to remind all of you that next week is officially the midway point of the semester. So stay focused, dial in, have a really good spring break, and then come back from spring break ready to finish the semester strong. End of report.
Dr. Schmidt.
We met with the leadership from finance, concluded we needed to use that popcorn maker more. That was our big conclusion there. Remember as you go through advising this semester, to do those advisor surveys if you get an opportunity to. End of report.
And Dr. Willis.
No report.
And committees reporting out tonight. Chief of Staff Peterson.
The library committee met last week on Tuesday, and we discussed a few things. First of all, the Library Enhancement Fund, which if most of you don't know, that is a endowed fund that is usually about $5,000 that the library committee gets to choose what it goes towards each year. And so we are looking into it going towards an AED in the library as well as a Narcan dispenser thing. I don't know what they're called. And then also if those are not possibilities, it may go towards more whiteboards and or tables in the upstairs. Building renovations were discussed, and also the library's 50th anniversary is in 2027, so that's exciting, and I'm sure they will have some sort of event planned for that. End of report.
Other committees. Senator Sleep.
I have two reports. The Information Technology Committee met last week on Wednesday. Our main conversation was that Jenny Howland gave a presentation on ADA digital accessibility on campus. She was sharing the successes they've had, such as training, having liaisons, and then resources with it. The deadline for showing progress towards ADA compliance is April 24th, which is coming up very quick. And they've also launched Student Digital Accessibility Liaison Program, which is basically a way that professors and students can put in a request to make things more ADA accessible, which is on their website to put in a ticket for that. My second report is I am the LAM lead for SA. I've started working with my LAM as of this morning, halter breaking, and I'll continue doing that. And Little I is the 27th and the 28th. More reports to come on that later. End of report.
Other committees to report out. Senator Derringe.
I wasn't here last week, so the Student Union Advisory Committee met on Thursday, the 19th, and we just had a bunch of overall updates. We don't have any major constructions planned, but there were 3 new study pods for Wintrode Autism Center. There was that name change to the Student Engagement Center. They're just adding a lot of office spaces and removing things so everyone has their own kind of space. Space is going to be divided for more offices for student success advisors, specialists, and an office advisor.
the print lab was dissolved for Jaeger, I believe, and so the union absorbed it, and the transition is going very, very well. The marketing for the union, Residence Life, Welly, and even more is now centralized through one area with staff working alongside union marketing, university marketing communications, and that's a very consistent process. For reservations and technology, they're standardizing a campus-wide reservation system, and the usage has increased, so that's pretty good. There was over 100 web users using it, placing reservations across campus, and so there's 104 facilities, 160 rooms, and it goes from the Dairy Science Bar all the way to performing arts and athletics, so that's pretty exciting. The union isn't built very well for the air conditioning. We have 3 different air conditioning systems, so a big process in the works is going to be trying to fix that with the HVAC system, since the 1972 infrastructure is just kind of falling apart, especially in the kitchen if you work there. So they're going to be working on that, and they need a lot more student representations. Overall, we have that HVAC upgrades that are coming up, and then we're of course working on the speaker systems, which is going to be pretty important. It's about 22 years old, and we just want a lot of student input on that because the students chose the speakers last time and they worked very well. So definitely get your input on that, and then they want a lot more like male insight because a lot of student government is led by women, a lot of the committees, but they do want to get some more male input on that. So end report.
Other committees to report out. Senator Anderson?
Safety and security, if you're on that committee, I sent you an email last week about physical security policy from emergency management and when buildings are gonna be open to students. They're planning on closing academic buildings at 9 PM and opening them at 7 AM. So if that affects anybody or would cause any hardship for you guys, let me know. And then if you're on safety and security, let me know your feedback. I already gave the emergency management some feedback already. If you have any more, just let me know.
Other committees to report out. Mr. Delahoy?
Senator Christoffels has finally, for parking and traffic, brought the mug after like over a month. So there's the mug, guys.
In her glory. For anyone wondering, it says hashtag I read the SDSU parking regs, as in regulations, so Megan won that. Any other committees to report out tonight? All right, moving on to questions. Are there any questions for any of the reports tonight? I do have a couple. AISA, you said something about March 10th, and I don't think we caught that. Was there something on March 10th?
Yeah, we're doing a WCHP 101 presentation
Okay.
In the union from 3 to 4.
All right. And diversity liaison Alex, the student success model. I know that that was supposed to be a very long process over 2 years. What's the next step now that you guys have had your first meeting?
I kind of just got an overview since I wasn't able to go last week because like the schedule didn't align with mine. But right now we're just seeing what students, like what student populations aren't getting that like high percentage of graduation rates or retention rates, and just recognizing how we can assist and like making sure they know what resources to get.
And then also wanted to clarify the popcorn machine. We do have a popcorn machine in the SA office, if you are wondering, and we were anticipating a lot of popcorn to be made during Senate Outreach Week. So if you ever want some popcorn, please feel free to safely make some. Not saying anyone in particular talking into the microphone right now, but the lid on the popcorn machine did break. So if you do handle it, please be careful, as there is a chance for danger. Burning danger. But you can make some popcorn. Any other questions for the reports tonight? And clean the popcorn maker when you're done. That'd be great. All right, we'll move on to unfinished business if there are no more questions. All right, moving on to unfinished business, item A, commemoration 25-5-C. Chief of Staff Peterson, would you please introduce this item?
Commemoration 25-5-C. Title of commemoration reads, The South Dakota State University Students Association recognizes March 1st to March 31st as Women's History Month, celebrating the contributions, achievements, and resilience of women throughout history and within our campus community. Prime sponsor includes Senator Mollison. Sponsors include President Spear, Vice President Sierra, Chief of Staff Peterson, Finance Chair Delahoyd, Government Affairs Chair Hunt, Communications Chair Ringenberg, Diversity Liaison Alex, and Senators Christoffels, Bolweg, Lopez, Cadenam, and Derenge.
Would anyone request this item be read in full? We have it requested.
Commemoration 25-5-C. Title of commemoration reads, The South Dakota State University Students Association recognizes March 1st to March 31st as Women's History Month, celebrating the contributions, achievements, and resilience of women throughout history and within our campus community. Whereas Women's History Month is observed annually in March to recognize and celebrate the vital contributions of women in American history and society. And whereas women have made lasting and transformative impacts in science, education, government, business, athletics, civil rights, literature, and the arts. And whereas Women's History Month originated as a local celebration in 1978 and was later recognized nationally, highlighting the importance of acknowledging women's achievements that have historically been underrepresented in traditional narratives. And whereas South Dakota State University strives to foster an environment of inclusivity, belonging, equity, and respect for all members of its community. And whereas campus departments and student organizations may host events, educational programs, and discussions throughout the month to uplift women's voices, promote gender equity, and celebrate leadership and achievement. Therefore, be it commemorated that the South Dakota State University Students Association recognizes March 1st to March 31st as Women's History Month and encourages all students to participate at club events such as Femme Club, Women in Business Club, and Women in Aviation Club, engage in learning opportunities, and honor the ongoing contributions of women within SDSU and beyond.
Is there a motion to approve? Senator Christoffels? Senator Mollison?
Second.
Senator Mollison, you got the first right. Further discussion? Right? Seeing none, we'll take it to a roll call vote. Chief of Staff Peters?
Senators Anderson,
Aye.
Bolweg, Fry,
Aye.
Christoffels,
Aye.
Derenge, Foley, Holland,
Aye.
Cadenam,
Aye.
Lopez abstains, Mollison, Podell,
Aye.
Roca,
Aye.
Sharples Schmidt, Shrestha, Siwa Cody, Sleep,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
Wallen, Warfa, Finance Chair Delahoyd,
Aye.
Chief of Staff Peterson, aye. Vice President Sierra.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and commemoration 25-5-C is approved. So again, just keep up this month. I know that there are, like Lassa just mentioned, they'll have a Women's History Month trivia night, I believe. And I know that there are a ton of other events, so I would encourage everyone to go there, like Senator Mollison said. Moving on to new business, opening slate for president and vice presidential nominations. Again, this is our last week, so I'm just going to explain it quick again. We need to open the slate formally. I need a motion and a second. Don't need to vote on it. And then we'll take any nominations. Those can be accepted. And then once there are no nominations left, we will close the slate indefinitely, as this is the third week that the slate has been open. Any questions regarding the process? Okay, then I would entertain a motion to open the slate. Vice President Sierra.
I move to open the slate for president and vice president nomination.
Motion and seconded to open the slate. I would now entertain any nominations. Nominations. All right. Finance Chair Delhoyd.
I move to close the slate for president and vice presidential nomination.
Second.
Motion to, or close the slate indefinitely for this term. Motion and seconded, the slate is closed. We're gonna move on to topics for future discussion. Are there any topics for future discussion tonight? I have one. Senator Sleep, it has been tradition that SA names their lamb/sheep, and I would encourage all to think of a fun name for our new member of Senate indirectly. I believe
It's a female, so.
female. Okay, perfect. Therefore, please contact Senator Sleep. I have been told that we can't name it Tammy. Unfortunately, Senator Christoffels has already named her sheep Tammy.
Tammy two.
Tammy 2. We could do a Tammy 2 or Tammy with an IE. I know this Tammy's with a Y. So yeah, ex officio is also welcome if you would like to help us name our lamb. Any other topics for future discussion? All right, announcements for tonight. Finance, Government Affairs Director.
Student Promotion Fund Committee will be meeting this Wednesday at noon in the stateroom. We'll also be meeting next week, but there is a room change. I'll be sending out that agenda later this week.
Vice President Sierra.
Campaign guidelines meeting will be Thursday at 7 p.m. in Pioneer Room.
Finance Chair Delhoyd.
SDSU Athletics announced a very exciting announcement today. Our biggest volleyball opponent coming to campus that we've had in a long time, Nebraska, will be coming to campus September 2nd of this year for volleyball, so that'll be very exciting. My home state.
Other announcements.
And Dr. Willis's home state.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn? Oh, Senator Christoffels got it first.
So, second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We're adjourned.
Oh, yeah.
Homework.